Peace and Black Power family. It's your Harlem educator, author, and activist, the Black Liberation Coach, Brother Ajay Taimba. And you know that I'm filming live on location in that wonderful, historical, and political village of Harlem, New York City. Well, family, I hope everyone's at peace, yet preparing for war because, as you know, we are in fact being warred against. Now, whether we acknowledge that and fight back is another question, but we are in fact being warred against, and you can see it in every measurable social statistical indicator. Whether you're talking about infant mortality, whether you're talking about AIDS or cancer or all these miseducation dropping out, every worst statistic our people appear to be occupying, and that's not accidental or incidental. That has been structured carefully by our enemies. Family, I wanted to talk briefly about something I'm really excited about. Hopefully some of you got to partake in it yesterday. And I'm talking about a new broadcast that you'll only see at Harlem Liberation School on YouTube. It is called the Black Power Cipher. Now, Black Power Cipher means two things. One, it's the actual collection of brothers. It's the team of brothers. That's the Black Power Cipher. But it's also the show or the broadcast with this team of brothers. It comes on Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel on the second Sunday of every month from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, you might be wondering, why is it only once a month? Well, family, when you get this caliber of brothers together, these are educators, activists, community organizers, institution builders from all over the country. These are people that are busy. These aren't people that's just laying around twiddling their thumbs. These are people that are actively engaged on some level with something that has to do with edifying our community. And I did want to talk briefly about it to excite you about it. I know not many of you may be watching live, but I know quite a few of you are going to watch the later recorded version. How do I know this? I know this, family, because our YouTube channel in under a month has almost 300 subscribers. It's growing very rapidly, which indicates to me that there's interest in the content that we're providing, which makes me very happy to know that. The Black Power Cipher, why? Well, family, I'm going to be really honest at the risk of sounding controversial. Of course, this won't be my first or last time sounding controversial. I feel that we live in a marketplace of ideas and special interests. All these varying groups vying for attention, vying for power, jockeying for position against one another, trying to get the attention, competing for the attention of the people. And I'm really not doing that per se, but I feel just like I felt about hip hop. And I have to tell you, family, I'm not just somebody that listened to hip hop. I was down with hip hop. I was a hip hop MC in Harlem growing up and had my own crew. And I remember the stuff that we rhymed about when I was coming up. Stuff like girls and we had muscles and we were strong and we could fight. Real basic stuff. Or we were smart. And I remember when the rhymes, as I got out of hip hop per se and got to spoken word, it started degenerating into very ugly, self-loathing sort of messaging. And I came to a point where I'm not trying to censor the negative hip hop. What I'm trying to do is say there needs to be balance. The problem comes in when you turn on any radio station and 98% of it is rape rap, drug addiction rap, black on black violence rap. That's the problem. We have to balance that out. And I'm kind of saying the same thing for the reason why we have a Black Power Cipher. There appears to be an attack on black people. Of course there is. It's over 1,000 years old. And it's on black women in a particular way. The attack comes to black women through this sort of scapegoating of black women for everything bad under the sun. Ridiculous. I never seen anything like it. Just ridiculous. I'm thinking, well, wow. How do we build a nation? How do we have family? In a traditional sense, of course. If the men and women aren't getting together. If we're blaming each other and finger pointing and scapegoating and we don't come together, how are we going to have families, which is the basic building block of nation? So women are attacked in a particular way, and men are attacked in a particular way. But one of the things I'm noticing is that every special interest group, I guess, has a right to survive as long as they're not hurting anybody. But in the marketplace of ideas, one has to articulate what they stand for. One has to distinguish themselves by finding out where their soul tribe is located. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm good with that. I'm cool with that. But there's some brothers and sisters out here that rock with the type of information I bring, and I'm trying to find them and speak to them. I think that there is a need for straight black men, without being oppressive, without talking bad about other groups, to stand up and say, hey, hello, we're here too. And we're valuable, and we have ideas and input that the community needs to hear. In this case, the people that are part of this Black Power Cipher team along with me are people like Baba Imhotep, who comes out of Baltimore, Maryland. Brothers like Yusef Bunchy Shakur, who comes out of Detroit. Brothers like Hakeem Jamal, coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. People like Amun Takala Imhotep, coming out of Houston, Texas. And Baba Walimu Baruti, coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. And Brother Ishmael Bey, coming out of Las Vegas, Nevada. So these are black men, family, from all parts of the United States. I'm not just repping Harlem, because it's much bigger than Harlem. Even if Harlem had everything together, our people catch a hell all over the planet, family. So I'm not into the hyper-localized organizing. Yes, I represent Harlem, but I represent Africans wherever we are on this planet. I'm a Pan-Africanist and a black nationalist. So it dawned on me, we need to get brothers across the country in one show. All nationalists and Pan-Africanists. All brothers who've worked for our community, who have sacrificed and dedicated their lives to the black community for decades, each one of us, at least 20 years. At least 20 years. And so, for me, it's important to have this Black Power Cipher. I want to show our babies and our children and our sisters and our brothers and our elders, we got straight black men out here that's conscious and political and organized and serving the community, that have very important ideas and analysis for you, family. It's very important that we show that image, those optics are very important in this day and time. It's also important that I got the particular people I got. Think about it. You got Baba Baruti. Here's a brother who, along with his wife, established Akobin Institute, which is an African-centered community homeschool that's been in existence in Atlanta, Georgia for 22 years. These are not fly-by-night people who just had a great idea one day, let's do it, and then they're gone. That is a permanent, I guess you could say a permanent fixture in the black community in Atlanta, right? He and his wife, Sister Ya Baruti, are also considered thought leaders. They have an annual complementarity conference myself and my queen attended, where they're teaching our people, black men and women, how to couple up, how to fix and repair and heal their relationships, how to show love to each other, African-centered love, how to fight together, how to work together, and how to love together, family. And there's nothing wrong with that. We can't have a situation where you have other groups of people that are defending their sexuality and their gender politics and creating a situation where you feel uncomfortable saying, I'm straight and this is what I'm for. That's not what this is about. If they can articulate their position, fine. We have to articulate our position, because there's a group of you I know that want to hear a different type of politics, gender, sexual, and political. And that's what we're representing. So if you look at it, Brother Amun Takala Imhotep, who comes out of Houston, Texas, he's part of the Black Power Cipher. This brother started his own black militia, family, in Houston, Texas. This brother's amazing. He builds things with his hands. He's just amazing. But he started a black militia. In other words, I've seen firsthand, live, where they listened to the police scanner, heard that police were getting ready to deal with some black couple in a car, and his unit, he dispatched people. They went over there. They intervened. They make sure that the couple was all right. They make sure the couple was calm. And you know, Texas is an open carry state, so when those brothers go, they're going with guns on their hip. Trained, disciplined. These brothers provide evacuation. You know, when there's hurricanes and floods, and they protect people. They help sisters who are the victims of domestic violence relocate safely. That's the work Amun is doing. I told you about the work Baba Baruti is doing. Brother Ishmael, long time brother. I known this brother for 30-something years. He was in the Nation of Islam. He's in the Nation of Gods and Earths. And right now, he's working on this issue of nationhood. You see, family, we're all nationalists in the Black Power Cipher. The root word of nationalist is nation. So for you to be a nationalist, you have to be talking about how black people constitute a nation and how we work together to create theory and activities and institutions, right, that protect and advance and develop our nation. What do I mean by nation, family? I mean we have a territory of land. I mean that we make our own laws and legislation. I mean that we are able to defend our land and territory. I mean that we are recognized by other nations around the world, and that we're able to enter into treaties and alliances with other nations and do business with other nations. That's what nationalists is supposed to be about. Not just you just say you're a nationalist and you're not talking nothing about a nation. That just doesn't make sense, right? So the Black Power Cipher has all types of brothers like this. Then we got Brother Baba Imhotep in Baltimore. Since this brother was incarcerated many years ago, he started his movement, family, and brother stands for Race First Politics. The brother and his wife have a weekend school, African-centered school, for our people in Baltimore. Family, we're talking about brothers who's doing real stuff here. You need to get on this Black Power Cipher train, family. You need to check us out once a month, the second Saturday of every month, at the Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel. Now, we had our first show yesterday, and it went good. We had a few technical glitches, but it went pretty well. And I think we missed 2 of our members couldn't get in. The next time we meet in August, the second Sunday of August, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, family, it's going to be 7 of us standing strong. Standing strong. And what makes us unique, and it's not to say we're the only group of brothers doing this, but our broadcast is not going to be a bunch of nitpicking, tearing other people down, telling who's doing the real work and who's not. We don't do the political gossip, nor do we participate in the politics of competition. We're not doing that within our own community. We are here to give analysis, to help people, to share our political insight and our experience, to give people proposed remedies and solutions, and every show will have a call to action. We're not just going to meet and be like, all right, peace, y'all, thank you for coming out. There's a call to action with every show. Yesterday's call to action was to learn what we mean by a warrior. What is a warrior? And what are the characteristics of a warrior? And Brother Baba Baruti wrote a book called Message to the Warriors that we encourage people to go by and learn how to define that. When we say warrior, what do we mean in the context of being, let's say, a nationalist or Pan-Africanist, somebody who's for black liberation? Family, a lot of our people are confused. There's like a million competing groups, special interest groups. You're competing for grant money, competing for attention, and all types of stuff. Only thing that we're fighting for is the hearts and minds of black people. We believe that if we get the hearts and minds of our people, if we can convince them that we're sincere, if we can demonstrate that we're credible, if we can illustrate what nationalism looks like and why it is still a viable ideology, although some people say it's dead. Just like they were saying hip-hop was dead 5 years ago. Remember that? Same thing. If we can do that, our people will work with us. And if our people work with us, family, we don't need the white man's bank. We don't need his military. We don't need his hospitals. We don't need his media. Nothing. If we work together and we develop all of the God-given gifts and talents we have, as well as organize our resources, family, there is literally nothing that we cannot do. And so, family, I'm really making an appeal that you come check us out. You go to the channel. If you missed yesterday's broadcast, You can go to Harlem Liberation School on YouTube when time permits for you. Harlem Liberation School on YouTube, and look for the last live video we did. We really, really have to understand this isn't about getting a good job. This isn't about your shiny new car. This isn't just about your nuclear individual family, although that's of course important. This isn't just about where you live in your little territory or city or state or country. Family. This isn't about getting white people to resign their corporate jobs and getting money from white folk. No, family, this is about nothing less than exercising and exerting our power of self-determination. Not in the Kwanzaa way, where we say we have the power to wear what we want and name ourselves. Not in that way, not culturally, politically. When you're an oppressed group of people, and you can prove that you constitute a nation, a unique grouping of people with a unique language and dress and diet and way of looking at the world and spirituality and music, then you are entitled, you have the right to create your own schools and institutions, write your own curriculums, protect and defend yourself, do business with other nations. This is what we are talking about. This is what Brother Malcolm was talking about the last year of his life. This is what Brother Marcus Garvey was talking about. No longer is it enough just to be able to say, oh, they named that street after me. Oh, they named a school after mine. Okay, very good. That's very nice. Not enough. Not enough to say, oh, we got a holiday name for this one, or we putting Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Listen, family, those are all symbolic victories. They don't put no food on your table. They don't protect your child when they go out at night by themselves from these racist police and cops. They don't create economy for you. We're talking now about power moves. We're talking now in the 21st century. We're moving away from integrationism. Of course, people like me were never really there with integrationism. We're talking about eking out an existence for ourselves. You know how it was when you was a teenager and you used to complain about your mother's rules and your father's rules, and you didn't want to do this and you didn't want to do that. What did they tell you, family? What did they tell you? They said, listen, if you don't like it, you could what? Get your own place. Well, what we're kind of metaphorically saying is that, you know what, we did the protesting and, you know, we did the marching, we didn't like this, and we wanted to change this law, and we wanted this to be renamed, and we wanted to get rid of the racist statues and all that other stuff. Take Aunt Jemima off the pancake box, take Uncle Ben's off. We saying straight up, we don't like the government of this country and how it is interacting and treating our people. From day one, from colonial times, we didn't like it. And what we're saying is, just like that teenager, the parents said get your own, we're saying we need to get our own, or we're going to stay here complaining forever, because this is not going to radically change. You'll get little minute little reforms, right? Because the government and the so-called authorities aren't dumb, family. Basic sociology teaches us that you have to let steam out the valve or it's going to blow up. So when you see people marching and protesting and getting mad and talking about retaliating, you got to give them concessions. You got to make them feel, you know, if you get up early and you work your 9 to 5 and you vote and you do all the things we teach you you're supposed to do, be good citizens, in time things will get better. So they do little things. They'll name a street after some famous leader of yours, or they'll name a school after some famous leader, or they'll put one of your famous leaders on a piece of their currency, or they do all these token things to make you feel like when people like me are saying we need to get our own nation, you'll be saying, no, but they're going to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill, RJ. And they got a school there after Martin Luther King, RJ. And they let us celebrate Juneteenth as a holiday, RJ. So what, family? That's not power. That's not freedom, justice, and equity. We talking about we have everything we need to stand on our own two as an independent, sovereign nation. Period. Not a state of the United States, not another territory of the United States, not a colony or commonwealth of the United States like Puerto Rico. No. We have the ability to stand on our own as a nation. And this is nothing new. It's nothing crazy. Family, I can tell you, I can go way back to 1914, 15 with Marcus Garvey. I can go back before then, right? With Edward Wilmot Blight. I can go back, can keep going back. Nationalism and Pan-Africanism is older than integrationism. It predates the formation of the United States. It's not a Johnny-come-lately ideology. If you believe that, then you just don't know the history of nationalism. It didn't start in 1960. This goes way back, family. When they took the first African from the shores of Africa, put us in holding pens on the shore, and then marched us onto these slave ships and brought us to the Caribbean and the so-called New World. The first time that a brother and sister tried to get them shackles off, had mutinies on those slave ships, family. Nationalism was born, baby. You understand? And Pan-Africanism came about because the white man went and colonized different parts of Africa, and through imperialism, kind of took us from certain places and dumped us off in other places. We developed the language of the oppressors. So there's Francophone countries in Africa where the French came and colonized those countries. So those countries speak French. And there's Anglophone countries in Africa where the English colonized those places, like Ghana, right? And the people there speak English. So depending, you could be in Senegal speaking French, you could be in Ghana speaking English, but whatever you're speaking, the point is you're not speaking your indigenous language, because these people came and carved up Africa and changed the boundaries and changed the names, so they messed everything up, family. And there are people in Africa, so-called tribes, that still have beef with each other that goes all the way back to these colonialists and them coming and carving up Africa for their own interests for the Industrial Revolution, family. Family, what I'm saying to you is, when you look on a map and you see the names of these nations, and you look on the news and you, oh, so Russia's doing this, and this country's doing that, and China and Korea, I want you to ask yourself, man, wouldn't it be nice for us to have a nation? Wouldn't it be nice for us to be in control of our own economy, military, to govern ourselves, to have our own legislative bodies that meet to write laws for us, and our own law enforcement bodies that meet to make sure that people comply with the laws and that the laws are just and fair? We have the same power as anyone else. And I don't know about you, as I close, I don't know about you, but I know that there was a time when I was an undergrad at Syracuse University many moons ago, and a beautiful black woman who worked in the administration of what was called the HEOP program called me in her office. And she said, young man, I have a question for you, because I hear that your grades are slacking. And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, aren't you tired of seeing people that aren't smarter than you outperform you? And I said, yes, ma'am. That stuck with me to this day. And so my question to you, family, as I get ready to close, aren't you tired of seeing other groups of people? They're not smarter than you. They're not stronger than you. They don't have more gifts. They have organization. They got over their fear and they fought. Having a nation ain't going to be no walk in the park, because the pimp that's been making a hoe out of you for all these years ain't going to let his hoe go, because his hoe brings him money. So when the hoe try to leave, the pimp don't like that, family. The pimp try to play the hoe like she's not important, because he wants her to be self-hating and not know her worth. But deep down, the pimp knows that his value comes from the so-called hoe, from whom he's extracting labor and money. Aren't you tired of being the white man's hoe? Like, at what point do you want to say, man, I want to go, I want a divorce. I want to be free to move the way I want to move. And I don't just mean you as an individual, but as a national body. I'm not crazy, family. What I'm suggesting is not crazy. People way before me, much brighter than me, much stronger and more accomplished than me, whose names you're familiar with, like Garvey, were advocating this years and years and years and years ago. What I'm saying is nothing new. All I'm doing is standing in the historical continuum and playing my small part and keeping the torch of nationalism and Pan-Africanism lit. Because some of you think it's enough just to wear cowrie shells and all types of symbols and African tattoos, and that's cultural nationalism that has its place. I changed my name to African name back in 1991. I did all these cultural nationalist things. That's important. But at the end of the day, family, nationalism is about nationhood. And we have many people in our community fighting for nationhood. And I like to encourage you, join us at the Black Power Cipher, Harlem Liberation School, YouTube. We have seven brothers who are nationalists and Pan-Africanists, all fighting in our different ways, expressing nationalism in different ways, but all in agreement that we're fighting for a nationhood, nothing less. Not just to get a march in your parade, change our name, wear African clothes and jewelry and tattoos. No, family. That's the very least we can do. What we're trying to do in the 21st century is push the envelope, push the agenda. And we have the right to do it. This right has been asserted in several legislative bodies at the international level. And I think it's time for us to do what we see other people doing and becoming a nation. Family, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I see all of you. Want to shout you out. Tim Miles, Brother Sean, my brother from 143rd, the Harlem World growing up. What's up, good brother? I think the Queen Bee was on here at least at one point. We just have so many good brothers and sisters that join us. I want to thank you all. Brother Devon, race first, you damn right. First, middle, and last. Race, period. Our race, that is. But thank you all, family. Check us out, Harlem Liberation School on YouTube, man. We're growing fast. We have some really good content and material that's a nation or nationalist in effect. We're not just talking about we need to change this law and get the police off our back here. We're talking about to a place where we have our own situation for ourselves. We can do it, family. It won't be easy and it won't happen without some type of bloodshed, but we can do it. Other people have done it. We can do it too. Thank you, family. Peace, Black Power, Kusu. See y'all next time.